Greetings, my fellow South African brothers and sisters. I present to you part 3 of our election segment, your guide to making an informed decision on the South African national and provincial election. Get ready for yet another exclusive insider's look into the heart of South Africa's politics as we approach the election date. Join us as we dive deep into a candid engagement between the controversial political figure Julius Malema and the South African's top media practitioners. Brace yourselves for unfiltered insights, tough questions, and bold answers in this must-watch exchange.
First one is Gauteng is likely to be a coalition, is likely to be a hung legislature. The ANC only got 50.19% in 2019. So and what we've seen in the metro since 2021 is that we're likely to have a coalition government in Gauteng. Wanted to know, have you had any engagement with any of the other parties on possible coalitions for Gauteng? What are your non-negotiables? What are the lessons that you've learned from the metropolitan municipalities that you would want to take into the legislature and into a possible coalition to avoid the kind of chaos that we've seen in Tshwane, in Ekurhuleni, and in the city of Johannesburg? Then my second question is not sure if it's weeks or months now, there was some controversy around the attendance record of EFF MPs to parliamentary committee meetings where so much of the work of Parliament happens. I'd just like to know your response to that and how you would like to approach things in this coming Parliament. Thanks.
Hankulo from CakeNet. Thank you, Mr. Malema. Just two quick questions. Do you view the MK Party and Mr. Zuma as particular allies going into the election and after the elections? So do you think that they would be able to assist you in your particular goals over and above some of the other political parties, opposition parties that you have referred to in your speech? And then I just want to jump back to some of the comments you made regarding the DA specifically. Steenhuisen has been quite vocal in referring to yourselves and your coalition partners, especially in some of the metros, as a doomsday coalition. I just want to get your take on that. What do you make of that statement, and how do you think you could, bring the evidence that you were so vocal about to work against that narrative that they are pushing quite hard at the moment? Thank you, Mr. Malema.
Thank you. Diane Hawker, just to clarify, I'm from Deutsche Welle, which is a German TV station, but the name is Deutsche Welle. All right. Mr. Malema, thank you for the opportunity. My question is, two questions. We've had 24 days now without load shedding, which seems like a bit of a Christmas miracle in the middle of the year. Maybe your assessment on what's really going on behind the scenes. Is it an election ploy, or is this really change that we're seeing in the state of our electricity supply? And then in terms of the coalition politics, just an add-on to Dr. Mbete's question, she mentioned Gauteng and what the non-negotiables are. My question is about, at a national level, what are the non-negotiables when you're thinking about coalitions?
Sanibona Mushabi, Thembile from Bloomberg News. Just on your strategy to break new ground with the town halls on the minority groups, what are they asking of the EFF apart from the usual deliverables that they would want from government? Do they have any concerns about your policies, or which ones in particular, and how you're responding to that? Then just on Diane's question as well around Eskom, the claims by some in the ANC that there's sabotage that is at play, is it a preemptive strike in case they don't do well in elections, or should there be a genuine concern around that? And if so, are you worried about, the integrity of the elections being compromised because of, let's say, a blackout the day before or in the days? Last one, sorry, your internal polls, what are they telling us about where the EFF will land? Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Mawande. I work for the Sunday World. Mr. Malema, you say you are open to a coalition with anyone. Does that include the DA, which has made it clear that they are not open to working with the EFF? Perhaps as a rider to that and the historical context, You worked with the DA, especially after the 2016 local government elections. What changed? When was the breaking point, and exactly what happened between the relationship, the coalition relationship of the EFF and the DA? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's Mudibe here from the Inside Factor. Two questions. The court ruled that the intelligence report, which the state security did not want it published, granted permission that it must be published, which include names of ANC comrades who spy on each other. But also in that report, it also includes how the CIA is trying to infiltrate opposition parties like the EFF and how they've put surveillance. Are you scared of any foreign intelligence surveilling you and certain leaders in your party? And my second question is, I recently had an interview where you said that before the MK was formed, two days before you went to meet the old man, you said no man endorsed the party. And then I think a couple of months ago when I was speaking to Ace, he said, you know, Mchana, that man wanted me to join the party and go to parliament. Do you think that there is this form of ageism that certain ANC comrades have, or former ANC comrades have, that they do not want to be led by a young boy who they've groomed or something? Because I've also heard you talk about this generational war, that you think that your biggest problem might be that there's generational jealousy that might face you and potentially your party. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Lizega Tandwa from the Mailing. Oh, yeah, good afternoon from the Mailing Guardian. Mr. Malema, firstly, can I just get your reaction to the tensions which are escalating in the Middle East, Iran and Israel? Last week, there was a lot of reports around Josi leaving the EFF and moving back to the ANC. Are there any concerns? Because we also, I think we reported that there were concerns in the EFF nationally about this move, and also about 1,000 of your members defecting to the ANC. Are there any concerns from your end in terms of how this might impact your voter share in these elections? And what exactly has there been a strategy and how to mitigate against this? You've spoken about your transparency, and I'm going to try my luck and ask whether the EFF can reveal, given that you've talked about direct contact with your voters, and you've talked about your nerve center, if you can reveal how much has this electricity, how much has this election cost you?
Tobela Moshabi. My name is Long. I'm also from the Mail and Guardian. Look, Mushabi, look, the first one would be, I mean, the IEC now with the new parties, they've basically said that they don't necessarily have a database to show that those signatures that these new parties were putting there are actually those of the people whose IDs belong to. And they've left it to Parliament. They're saying that these parties, when they go to Parliament, you guys in Parliament will deal with that. What do you think Parliament should do if one finds that those signatures were forged? Should those maybe parties be removed? What is going to be action? And don't you think that the IEC is opening itself up for litigation? That's the first one. And then also the IFP, considering that they're in the MPC, they've said that, look, they are open to working with you if they don't get a 50+1. Would the IFP be an ideal candidate to work with? And also with MK, I mean, MK already, you are saying that you can work with them, but I just want to know on what basis, because, I mean, they've not released a manifesto. So what is it that you say you find yourself having some similarities with MK? And also the issue of the deputy president. I mean, I saw also on the debate that you as the EFF wanted to give him the Ministry of Finance because Trolip was accusing that you want him to steal there. What do you say about those remarks? Thank you so much.
Natasha.
Thank you so much, and thanks for fighting for me, Bramzai. It's Natasha Fury here from SABC News. Just as a follow-up to Lizera's question about Limpopo, Mr. Malema, this is your home province, but yet it's a stronghold of the ANC. Surely this is something that's very worrying to you. I mean, Josie Butani had said he wants to hit the EFF where it hurts. So perhaps your plans around winning back, not winning back, but winning Limpopo over, seeing that the ANC is about at 75%, the EFF is around at 14%. And then you were at El Dorado Park on Tuesday. You told the community there that the EFF is for everyone. What are your plans to diversify the party and attract more people, like colored people? I know you've got your Nazir Paulsons, your Carl Niehaus, but just to attract and diversify the party. Thank you.
Is that all, colleagues? Over to you. Tando, sorry, it was... There's a mic.
In the first round, you didn't answer the question, CAC, on whether there are concerns if the ANC might do a U-turn on agreements that you've made in a coalition phase. Yeah.
Over to you, President.
Sorry, Bishop, before just that, just one that I wanted to add. Do you feel that an ANC that doesn't have a majority will be an easy ANC to work with if they don't have their majority?
Thank you very much. I've been asked to deal with this issue of coalitions as the first one. We don't have a problem with a coalition government. We think is the most workable solution to political arrogancy and sins of the incumbents. Because when you are in a coalition, you know you don't have absolute majority, because absolute majority corrupt absolutely. So it's important that you always try to make sure that you stay within the agreements that are reached within a coalition. And it doesn't matter what's going to happen on the 29th of May. There's no way the ANC is going to get the majority in Gauteng. And we are prepared to talk to them, talk to the IFP, talk to everyone, and then including the DA. We want to prioritize the citizens more than our ideological differences. But also, we know an inclusion of the EFF in a coalition comes with a huge opportune moment for us to gain some experiences, but in a practical way also display to the people of South Africa what we are capable of doing. So I think that this below 50% and without any outright winner, EFF stands a good chance to participate in decision making. And I was making some silly example that if you were to make me deputy president or minister of sports, arts and culture, in the group of all those ANC people, there's no one who can outshine me. I as a minister of sports, arts and culture, I can be looked at as a president. People can be looking for water and say, bring Malema here, and I'm a minister of sports, arts and culture. Because we'll perform in such a way that our people will long for our immediate takeover of the state. We have never worked with the DA, so this is how we brought down the ANC. We firstly had to remove them from power because they were using the state resources to cling to power. So we shifted the pace in 2016 and did not work with the DA. We said, well, we don't want, as long as the ANC has got no control and access to the purse, that is the only strength they have, because They no longer have a message, they no longer have a face. So we did that, and it paid in 2019, where we dropped them to 57% and dropped the Gauteng province to 49.9%. So they are leading with one member. They are not leading because percentage-wise they've got a majority. Before that, to show that these things have got thugger in them, Paul Mashatile came to meet us in one of the hotels here in Johannesburg, asked to see us, were to come down, meet, and said, guys, we've lost Gauteng as the ANC, we're prepared to work with you. What are the conditions? As we're engaging, telephone call came, and then he went outside, and then he came back and said, no, we're fine, we no longer need you. They say we've won. But if you guys want to sleep here, you can sleep here, order anything you want to order. And then left us there. So, and then it went 49.9, and that's why we knew this is rigging. Because riggings happen like that. Why did Paul say he lost? They had ANC internal results, because the good thing with the ANC is that he has got party agents everywhere. So the results came internally before they were announced by IEC that they've lost. So they were now preparing for the IEC announcement. Hence the emphasis now on party agents. Because we need to guard every vote, including a vote that is not EFF, as long as it's anti-ANC. Because ANC wins with stealing small here. And then they give it to themselves, and that's how they get 49.9. Who wins with 49.9? Rigging happens like that. So we never had a relationship like that with the DA. So we gave it to them. And then we if you remember, we said we don't want Mashaba as a way of trying to push back the DA because it needed us desperately. They pushed back. When they pushed back, we said, we're about to lose this strategy. Let's concede Mashaba. They put Mashaba in. And then when they put Mashaba in, we became the good government ourselves of Johannesburg without being inside. Mashaba takes a platform here, like I'm doing now, says, I have insourced the security guards in Johannesburg. No one asked Mashaba using which policy, because when you were a mayor, you were a DA mayor, and the DA never had that policy of insourcing security guards. Which security? He insourced security guards in exchange of the EFF passing the budget. Those were the conditions. We said we won't pass this budget unless we insource the workers. He agreed to insource the workers, and that's how the budget was passed. If this is Mashaba's policy, ask him in 2016 when he was implementing it. In which page are we finding this part of the policy of the DA that speaks about insourcing? So a person lies to you, not so intellectually gifted individual, the lowest in thinking amongst politicians, even Gayton is better. Because 26 or 28, the lowest in political thinking, right? Lies to you. You don't ask him a simple thing. Where do we find that in the DA policy? Because you are lying. And that condition was made public, Budali, that we will not pass this budget. And if we don't pass this budget, this municipality is going to collapse. The ANC is going to take it over through administration unless you insource the workers. He insourced the workers. What happened? Everywhere else where we had influence, we're telling them what to do. Boom! 2019 comes. They don't perform well. Helen Zille says, no, man. The problem is Musi, who allowed this EFF to work with us. Now we've declined support because the white racists are not happy with this relationship. That's why the white racists shifted to vote for Freedom Front. It's a recent history. You see, it's getting distorted now when we're still alive. Imagine what's going to happen. So, that's what happened. And that's what led to this kind of animosity we have. Because the DA says, whatever happens, don't go close to the EFF, because the EFF is going to make you lose support from our white racists. And we didn't mind that, because we always knew what we were doing, and we achieved it. If we had not put the DA in 2016, and the ANC comes with Cyril Ramaphosa, who was loved by you, and the ANC has access to resources, Cyril will have gotten 2/3 majority. What killed the ANC is that it lost the pairs of the metros. Remember, in 2016, just before the elections, there were billboards of the ANC in the whole of Johannesburg. When we went to investigate, Johannesburg municipality issued a tender to advertise its 5 years achievements. Then bought 100 billboards, only used 20 for that purpose, and then 80 for the ANC. But on paper, it's billboard adverts for the municipality. That we took away. So that then helped us to upset the situation in 2019 and subsequently 2021. And the good thing with the ANC is that when it loses, it never recovers. Now, in 2016, they lose Johannesburg, they lose Tshwane, they maintain Ekurhuleni. In 2021, just to demonstrate to you that the ANC, where it loses, it doesn't recover. In 2021, it loses even Ekurhuleni, which was their base. So that's what happens. And I can tell you now, the ANC will never recover. It's got no such history. Take Western Cape as an example, if you don't want to take Ekurhuleni and Gauteng as an example. They ruled Western Cape, they declined. They ruled KZN now. There is no chance of coming back. IFP, we can work with them. My problem is that the ANC in Gauteng, if it gets 47% and the IFP gets 3% or 4%, and the EFF gets a 12%, 15%, they are going to prefer the IFP more than the EFF. So we need a situation where the ANC, we need Ekurhuleni situation, where the ANC and the EFF combined, they can form a government without a small party. That the ANC, for it to form a government with the small parties, it will still need the EFF. Then there's going to be nice discussions. Because the ANC without power is not an arrogant ANC. Look at how, so now we're done with the DA. Then we go to Ekurhuleni to deal with the ANC. We say, look guys, this gives us an opportunity. We may not agree on conditions and all of that, but we can have an opportunity to participate in government. Speed up service delivery, but also demonstrate to South Africans what we can do. We go into Ekurhuleni under those conditions. We perform so well, so much that the ANC branches then go to the ANC leadership and say, no, if you keep these people in power, it's the end of the ANC. We didn't do anything. We just worked hard. You report about a blocked sewer, we say to you, give us 24 hours, it will be resolved. You tell us this, give us 24 hours, it will be resolved. The EFF was hard at work. No one has ever asked the ANC, why did you remove the mayor of the small parties and then the EFF and all of that? Because they can't give you an answer. Like the DA, they were saying, these people are outshining us. That's why I tell you, make me Minister of Sports and see what's going to happen. Make me Minister of Sports. If I'm a problem, make me Minister of Sports, see what's going to happen. That's how we work in the EFF. That's how we build this party from nothing, from zero budget to where it is now. Because all we do is to work hard. And I've made that personal commitment with myself that I need to work hard as an individual. And nothing must come to me for free. I grew up in other people's houses. We didn't have food at home. But I never ate food of that home for free. After we were given food, I was the one who was working hard to demonstrate my appreciation of what I was given. I never asked for free things anyway. So, and that's a culture we are inculcating in the EFF. That people must work hard. Must not be a home of lazy people who are obsessed with positions. After we give them positions, they have no idea what they are talking about except to celebrate blue lights. So the ANC can make U-turn if it wants. It's their own thing. We are not going to sign any paper with any coalitions. We are not in a relationship of signing papers. We are in a relationship of improving the lives of our people. So the doomsayers coalition, you must tell them that the doomsayers coalition is the one that went to remove rubbish bins in Tembisa after collapsing the government of DA in Ikurule. The people of Tembisa started seeing those trucks of removing rubbish bins. First time after the EFF went in. And I'm answering these two questions at the same time. When you say to me, what is this coalition going to do? Go to Ikurule. 2, why do you want to make Floyd finance minister because you want to steal? I'm a finance minister in Ikurule. What did I steal? It's more than a year now. What did I steal? Even in the removal of the EFF in that government, no one could accuse EFF of laziness and corruption. No one, not a single one. So the only accusation we got was that we lost 2-point-something billion in revenue. And that was necessitated by the fact that there was a meter system that was supposed to be installed, and there were civic organizations that had problems, and there was 2 from court. But when we went back now into the Ministry of Finance, MMC of Finance, we agreed we need to recover that money, because the good thing with electricity is that you can go back, we can go as far as 5 years ago. So that money is still recoverable, and we told the MMC of Finance, whatever you do, you must recover that money. But we still got a good audit. Then our audit was subjected to all types. What was the name of the audit? Unqualified. People who didn't know what is unqualified audit, they just had unqualified, but it didn't pass. That's when the DA's domcopism came in. It didn't pass. Unqualified. Then we went through to educate patiently, or this is what it means. There was no disclaimer against the EFF. Nothing. We have done it in Ikurule, in the finance. We can do it in South Africa. We have never stolen any cent anywhere, including in the VBS. I said when I did an interview with JJ that who am I? I'm nobody. I'm just some guy from Sishiu, a child of a domestic worker with no power, nothing. If I had stolen, why are these people that I'm troubling so much not arresting me? I don't give them sleep. Come. Why are you not arresting this guy? Batoi took a Pala case from a prosecutor. Took it away. Till today, they don't know where the docket is. And then Batoi says to them, charge Malema with that issue of Limpopo of On Point. I'm like, you can do it. I must be charged with something they allege I've done. So many years back, there was a decision by the NPA, by the way. Matter was struck off the roll. Then the decision was taken to charge again. When they announced the charging, they said, Malema is not part of the people that were charging. We'll see when the case goes on. It was not my decision. The mistake they did, they included a deceased person as one of the people who must be charged. That's a state that is not organized. They didn't know that they issued a death certificate for that guy. Still proceeded to charge him in the grave. Then they were left with the egg on their face, embarrassed. They retreated from that case. Now Batwe says, go in. They're like, but with what? There is a big internal battle of charging Malema. Because they say, for what? How do we explain the earlier decision where we said we are not charging him? What new has emerged? But Ramaphosa, with the docket that was raised in an open meeting where the Financial Intelligence Center was presenting to NPA, the prosecutor who was prosecuting Ramaphosa's case stood up and said, I've got this Pala case. How can you help me as Financial Intelligence Center? He didn't finish the sentence, but he stood up and said, no, can't talk about that yet. Bring those things in. No, not yet. Till today. So, they can't say to us, Floyd can be a minister of finance when the current minister of finance was accused of stealing workers' money. The current one. And Ogari apologized also. He got removed from a position because of that accusation. A lesser position because he was accused of stealing money from the workers. He got removed and then he came back top position without any clarity, having accepted that he stole that money. So Floyd has not stolen any money. Only illiterates can reject the young intelligentsia. The man is gifted. He knows these things. By his head, he can tell you every little cent, where it is being spent by who, where, how. He leaves those things. He tells you about every single South African company, who's the CEO, how much does it make, how much money does it pay for taxes, without reading anything. You've got a man who understands the economy of South Africa and the continent and the world at large. A well-grounded Marxist-Leninist, highly qualified, is now going for his third master's. Next week he's going to collect his third master's in London. Not in some TVET college there in Seshiwo, in London. Then he must be compared with Athol Trollip, whose only charm to the people is not ideas, is speaking Xhosa. That's why he was not saying anything that debate. He just Xhosa and then says a lot of hot air and then Xhosa. Since when should people be elected on the basis of language? If black people must vote for a person because he's speaking Xhosa, whites must vote for us because we're speaking English. We must exchange the votes then. So I think I've dealt with that. Load shedding still exists. That's why they say to you, I don't know why you're celebrating 24th day. Load shedding exists. They say to you, load shedding remains suspended. They don't say we're done with load shedding. Load shedding remains suspended. They never said to you, there's no load shedding. It's there. They are doing what they were doing during the Rugby World Cup. They are holding it there. And to the detriment of the grid. I can tell you, 29 May, we're going, after voting, when the things close, we're going to stage 6. They did that to us. With the World Cup, Rugby World Cup, they keep the lights on because they are using the remaining reserves. When we came back from that, they said stage 6 so that they can recover what they've been using just to keep the lights on for the World Cup. They are doing the same now. So there is nothing, there's no sabotage, they don't know what they're doing. They just don't know what they are doing. Sputla, they are busy over nothing. MK party, look, President Zuma says we must take the land. You heard that. Said we must take the land. Once a person speaks like that, that person comes closer to us. Azapo says, let's take the land. PAC says, let's take the land. ATM says, let's take the land. How the MK party internally formulate policy and operate, it's not my problem. I'm judging from what I'm hearing. And I agree. I had a meeting with President Zuma before the 16th of December, where he was telling me about his plans of the party and all of that. I asked him, I said, old man, tell us what you want us to do. We'll do it. Because we still have the energy. We're there. I don't think it's the right thing to open a political party. Tell us, then endorse the EFF. That thing that is saying about MK, that I remain a member of the ANC, but I will campaign and vote for MK. Where he says I will campaign and vote for MK was supposed to be I will campaign and vote for EFF. That was the request already. This is how you structure it. Why? Where did I learn that? I learned that from President Mugabe. When he announced his endorsement for Chamisa, he said, I can't vote for people who have been tormenting me and my family. I'll vote for the young men. And the only young man there was Chamisa. So, it was done before. President Mbeki did it. He didn't do it the way Zuma is doing it. You all know that. He did that with COPE. He did that with COPE. In the youth league with Mbali and them, we used to call him a COPE Dalai Lama. And then now he wants to come and play some high moral ground that, nah, you can't say you are a member and campaign for another party. But you did it. Yes, JJ knows better. Well, town halls, meetings, campaigns, is to go and say to those people, the EFF's message ought to be communicated to them directly because it gets distorted on the way. So we have to communicate with minorities directly who are busy organizing a meeting with Afrikaner farmers. And the language I spoke here won't change when we meet Afrikaner farmers. I'm going to tell them, you are part of us, you are here, but let's share. Let's share the wealth and the land of this country. And I must say it in such a way that they themselves are able to ask questions. And by the time we leave that meeting, it will all be making sense. There used to be a rich guy called Jimmy in Polokwane who used to have a lot of buildings. And this, remember, we advocated in the youth league. He used to say to me, hey, my guy, I'm prepared to surrender whatever amount of buildings you want us to surrender to the state. But I'm not the only girl in town. Not going to be the only one who donates buildings and people are left there. I can even say it public that I'm ready to give government back so many buildings. But let everybody come and make a commitment. Why? Because he knew that it is not sustainable what we're doing. That we own the whole town. Just the two of us, me and Molman. It's not sustainable. So we have to release some of these properties into the hands of the people and everybody benefits from it. Well, CIA in America is doing what is expected from them. They must do their work. State Security South Africa must do its work. South African embassies must do their work. The problem is the EFF, if it has got no internal system to detect CIA agents, which we don't have, by the way. Even that report tells you that no, the only party where we have agents is the ANC, maybe with the DA, I don't know. But the EFF, they say no, we try to find from this and that. There's no report that says CIA has got people inside the EFF. There's no such a thing. So, as a commander, you have to have the ways of operation. You tell one person, that person alone, information. And then you say, I'm going to tell Dali and others, there's no problem. And you don't do it. When that information leaks, you know it's this one. Because I only told you must learn to tell information to one person and then see what's going to happen. Once it gets out, you know, we're leaking here. Even you, as journalists, you know how difficult it is to have sources in the EFF. Ele pallage list ya EFF. You tried finding it everywhere, you couldn't find it. As an example, list, you couldn't get it anywhere. You are all like, when is this list coming out? Hey, what? In the EFF, even, I want to call her by name, from Melon Guardian, Lizega, keeps on pretending like she's got some information in the EFF that heads are going to roll in KZN, people are not happy with Mabida. Nothing like that. Now she makes a big issue. She says 1,000 people left the EFF in Limpopo, blah, blah. Okay. You know, Lizeka has got all the time. When I say journalist, you are not rushed by anything unless it's a trending big story. Deadline. But if we want to work on that line, why can't she go and verify the membership of those people? Those 1,000 people. And say, yeah, I've got this, I've got this, I've got... The people in the picture with Josie Butan is those councillors we expelled for passes. At the wall, you see at the wall where they were seated. They say EFF members are leaving the EFF. Those guys were expelled from the EFF. Go and look at that picture and then come and sit with me and ask me one by one. I'll tell you, this is so and so. Here's the letter of expulsion and the date. This is so and so. Here's the letter of expulsion. They are not our members. They have not been our members. And really, I can't be asked about Limpopo. I don't care about Limpopo. I don't care about Gauteng. I care about South Africa and the continent. Whether EFF is voted for in Limpopo, so what? What must I do? What does that have to do with? I'm not a regional leader. I'm international. I can walk into any country. You'll think Michael Jackson, the showstopper, has arrived. In the whole continent. So you're telling me about Limpopo, what? What's that? You want to reduce me into Ramudige? Ramudige, Mpepu, Ntangwis. I was born in Limpopo. I'm not a Limpopo citizen, I'm a South African citizen. My interests are in this country. I led this country when I was 17 years old as a president of COSAS. Why would you still see me as a person who comes from Limpopo if you are not seeing me through the eyes of tribalism? And that makes you a tribalist yourself, a regionalist, not me. I don't see my... I go anywhere in South Africa and feel comfortable. And there is nowhere in South Africa where I don't know a person personally. There's a day I woke up one day and I cried a lot during COVID. Because they told me of 10 people who had died that day from all over South Africa. They didn't know. This one tells me about this one. But I knew these people so closely. So the whole of South Africa. So much that some of them I buried their parents. Some of them I was there during the baptism of their children. That's how much I know these people. I grew up with them as a child. I grew up in this country, leading it nationally. So I know the ecosystem of this country, who does what, where, and how, including those who sell drugs. When I take over, I know which area to go. I will never sell soldiers to Western Cape to go and fetch drugs. There's no single factory in Western Cape that manufacture drugs. Those are the consumers. All drugs are being produced in Gauteng and get distributed outside. That's why you send the soldiers with so much money to go and stop drugs in Western Cape. Till today, they never gave you any drug bust that is big for 2 million rands. Nothing. What happened when you send the soldiers to Western Cape? The supplier stopped supplying. That's why those Western Cape people started smoking the dangerous drugs, the most useless things, because there was no supply. None of those soldiers found a factory in the Western Cape. You live where drugs are. You go and look for them somewhere. What's that? So, even these people who steal the money of government, I know some of them, and I know how they work. That thing of SIU, that you over-celebrate, when the man makes a determination that SIU must go and investigate Dalimpofu, and Dalimpofu is his man, he says the mandate of Dalimpofu, of SIU on Dalimpofu, starts from 2019 coming this way. But the crime we are complaining about was committed in 2018. He pretends to be doing something. So, I know the operations of South Africa, and I only know South Africa, and Limpopo is part of it. Every strategy we apply in every province, including Western Cape, where we are weak, is the same. Whatever we do in Limpopo, we do in Western Cape, we do in Northwest, we do in KZN. There's nothing that happened in Limpopo now which is special. I was never made by boys. I made them. I made them. So there's no boy who can destroy me. I made them. Their mothers are living in proper houses today because of me. I made them. Why would you think you can outshine the master? Never. No boys can deal with me. Both in the ANC, in the Youth League, in the state. I defeated them when I was a child. I'm too old now. 43 with 3 kids and a wife. I defeated them when I was a child. They tried me. Everything. I've got an experience of a 63-year-old at 43. There's nothing that shocks me. Nothing. When a person is going to sell out and leave the EFF, I see them coming. I even prepare the leadership. Yeah, we're about to experience something. Why would you think the ANC will not try to destroy me now? When they tried it when I was with them. So, I mean, nothing is shocking in Limpopo. Nothing demands any other different kind of strategy. And if you are to be honest, I was deployed in Limpopo even before this development. Remember, officials are given provinces. I've got 3 provinces: Limpopo, Gauteng, Free State. I'm in Limpopo Tuesday. I'm in Free State, Gauteng Wednesday, Free State Thursday. I'm from Free State yesterday. And I've been to Limpopo. The names you are talking about have never arisen in Limpopo's discussion and the strategy to implement going forward into 29 May. Godrich Gadi was deployed in Limpopo before this. So there's no any other new development that requires us to do anything. I raised the issue of the signatures. I raised the issue of the signatures with the CEO when they were registering those people. Musmaiman said he got how many signatures? Some 140. I'm like, okay, how do you confirm if these are real signatures? He said, we don't have systems. We're just going to check if these people are registered voters, because that's easy to do, the name, ID number. But I can register the same people, just take them from the voters roll, register them to be supporting me, and then get different kind of people to do signatures. He says, no, I mean, the period of objections is coming. You guys, if there is a name you know that doesn't support that party and is there, you can object. I'm like, how are we going to know? Because those names of signatures are not going to be published. So how would I know this is a fake signature? What if my grandmother is demon? We'll never know those things. So that concern has been raised with the IEC, and I can guarantee you we're going to follow it up. We can't leave it. There has to be systems in place to verify the authenticity of the signatures. Which one? Oh, no. That we saw it coming. There is no way that Israel can continue with what it's doing without provoking other countries in the Middle East. What we have always emphasized is that we need ceasefire and we need a permanent solution to the Middle East crisis, because if we allow this to go on now, there is a serious threat of the World War III now. So we shouldn't allow a situation where violence and war are supported for wrong reasons. The Palestinians have got all the right to fight for their self-determination without any threat of being wiped off the earth by anyone. So we call for peace, we call for ceasefire, and we call for decisive intervention by United Nations Security Council, which when we take over government, we are going to suggest strongly that it ought to be structured and its decisions must be on the principle of majority rule. This thing of vetoing is not helpful, where the majority takes a decision and one state just comes to veto that decision. So really, we are worried about that, and we've been paying a closer attention to that situation. MK party, I spoke about it. Yeah. Is there anything I didn't answer? Oh, Zaka. Internal, yo. Zaka. Let me tell you. So, and I explained this. I don't know, TG was going to remind me. When we went to EFF 10th anniversary, we were trying to patch here and there, take this one, put that. The ANC IEC gave us how much? I said it publicly. 37 million as our allocation. That we never looked for. It was not coming. It was not part of any money expected from the IEC. They gave us 37 million. And I knew that if they give us 37 million, the ANC went to make a demand that we have a problem. So do the party allocations. 37 million is what ran that FNB. Then we went to Mabhida. When we went to Mabhida, we went to Standard Bank and asked for a loan of 100 million. We're given 60 million. We took 40 million of the 60 million, went to pay our service provider who gave us a credit in 2021 and was servicing it quarterly as we get money from IEC, Parliament, blah, blah, blah. 40 million, we're owing him 40 million. Boom, take. After he took 40 million, we looked at him and said, can't you give us a credit of 60 million? He gave us a credit of 60 million, these things that you see here. So we must pay him and we must still pay the bank. Our arrangement with the bank is that Once the IEC money gets into the bank takes their portion. They don't even talk to us. Then we get money from Parliament for political thing and for constituents. Then we get money from Gauteng. Gauteng is the one that gives us a lot of money. I think last year they gave us almost 20 million or something. And then all provinces give us money because we are represented in all the provinces. That money is not controlled by provinces. It's controlled by the central organization called the Treasurer General. So we are succeeding in doing these things because we've got a good skill of cash flow management. Take this one, remove here, take here, put there. Now that we get 60 million, then we took 20 million. 40 to that guy, 20 million to Moses Mabhida. That's how we made it. I'm giving you at a high level. In December, the Treasurer General will present the details. Now, we're going to 25 May. The companies of South Africa, including, what is Motsepe's company? Rainbow, those things, have been donating now for multi-party purposes. So, there's monies that come from companies that will be declared with the IEC. And it will be premature to ask me what is an election cost. We're still fighting, still putting money. So the election will be done, and we'll be able to give you the rough estimates of how much was utilized. But basically what you have been seeing and what you think the EFF should be having a lot of funders is actually the money from the bank and from the state that has been sustaining the EFF. And because we don't steal it, that's why it can do these huge things that you get shocked. How does a party do the things that they're doing? We once put a stage at Orlando Stadium, and Muzwandile called me, Masina, and said, yo, that should have costed you 10 million. That stage. God, no, it was 1 million. But I know why you say it costed me 10 million. Because when they give you a quote of 1 million, you guys go and say to these guys, quote 10, I'll come and fetch 9. Yes, so we don't do that. We tell you we've got 1 million. We want a beautiful stage, make a presentation based on our budget. We know our coffers, we know what we can afford. And we use that money, the smallest cent, for the development of this organization. Internal polls, we don't do internal polls. We wait for Ipsos. So once Ipsos is released, and we don't have anything to do with Ipsos, once it is released, then we write them a letter to come and make that presentation to the EFF. So we are waiting in a very keen way for this one. But Ipsos, before Zuma came in to disrupt the whole setup, because, hey, Zuma came with another arrangement. Ipsos, no, it doesn't worry me. Yeah. I just came, disrupted everything. So, Ipsos had said the EFF stands at 16% lower turnout, 18%, 70% above. And then, even with 16, we are with a lower turnout, we are neck to neck with DA. With a high turnout, we are overtaking the DA. And then they left us with one message. They said, we don't know what you are doing. Whatever you are doing, keep on doing it. So all we ask from Ipsos is, where is the stronghold of the EFF? Where are we weak? And so that we channel the resources according to the strength. Strength does not mean you must not take risk of breaking new grounds. Even when Ipsos says, don't go there, we hear you, but we still go. And we consolidate the base and break the new ground. That is with regard to internal polls. So, our plan to diversify racism is exactly what we're doing. Because we realize that we're being projected as a racist organization, which hate even colors. I mean, how do we hate colors? Our own. Because colored means you are oppressed. Indian means you are oppressed. African means oppressed. So we are the oppressed nation. How can you hate on oppressed nations? And that's why I say to you, the best thing, let's go there. So that no one distort us. And no one says, no, Malema stands for this and that. They, the minorities themselves, must be able to say, but we had an interaction with this guy. And we've heard what he stands for, and that's what we will support or not support. So, for the first time, we're going to have a white man representing the EFF in Parliament, Carl Niehaus. But colors we've always had. Indians we've always had. I don't know if Godrich God is Indian or what, but there are things like things like that. So we even had an old man Indian from Dr. Vauda, from Nelspruit, Mbombela. So that's how much we've always been open. Nazir have been there. There is that other lady. Kharike is there. Letitia is there. There's another one from Bloemfontein. Paul Nita is there. And then Maggie Munsami is the founding treasurer of the EFF. And that founding treasurer, Indian of the EFF, led to that guy in KZN to leave as Buteles or something, who was a former coordinator of KZN, said, I can't be led by Indians. And we said, okay, you can go. Yeah, Indians are going to lead us. So that's the ANC took them until, I can tell you, since 1912. No, Gabo included who? Who? No, I'm saying the top 6. No, the ANC never included anyone. Minority. I think Jesse Duarte was the first one, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. Yo, Cheryl, yeah. And who? Kada was what? But after so many years, we started it now. The first founding conference of the EFF elected an Indian as a treasurer. That's how much diverse we have been from birth. So to be asked, how are you going to attract minorities? We have attracted them before. Yeah, thank you very much. I think I'm done. Oh, okay. Attendance? No, not me. Why do you say your attendance? You mean me or EFF? Oh, EFF. What is the percentage of my participation? I've not followed those things because no, it can't be 6%. So I'm not a member of committees. I'm only a member of one committee called Ethics Committee, which sits once in a while. I was a member of Minerals Committee and Justice Committee, and the EFF released me as a party leader that beyond Parliament, there are party issues that you have to look after. That's why I do not sit in many of these committees. But Parliament I attend. The battles I lead from the front. You look at all those gogos of the ANC who attend Parliament, and you measure their input with this man who doesn't attend Parliament. When I attended that day, it's like I've been there. I solve everything. Make very important inputs that they just go there, attend committees and eat food and go home. They've got no value and quality inputs that they are making there. But otherwise, generally, the EFF's participation in Parliament is very good. Yes? EFF. Yeah, I accepted. What am I saying? I'm saying EFF's participation in Parliament is satisfactory. There is no committee. Go there and ask. There's no committee without EFF's participation and quality input into that committee. Yes. Okay. No, leave that example. Even with what you are saying, the Gogos are members of Parliament who are members of Parliament, who must be judged on the bar of members of Parliament. Don't be an ageist. I'm saying to you, it can. No, the bar. It's a measure. The measure is members of Parliament from the ANC make no valuable quality input, and partly because majority of them are an old age home. We don't have that problem, and we make quality input. The same thing of ageism. That's what Ace Magashule suffered from, and many others. Some tribalism, who said we can't join this party that is led by a spady person, we can't join this party but it's led by a young boy. It's their own laws. Ace Magashule, if Zuma doesn't do him a favor, he's going to watch Parliament on TV because of ageism. Yeah, he could have been part of the EFF who could have built a strong, powerful alternative EFF in Free State. The one I've never approached and I don't even have an appetite for is Claudi. I think the bar there is very low. You see, we can't go there. No, we're not going there. But I can guarantee you, the EFF's participation and quality inputs, including bills that we propose in Parliament, are not just artificial bills. They are attempting to make a shift in the status quo of South Africa and change the patterns of property ownership in our country. So I can't claim that I'm a full-time participant there. No. I'm a party leader who was released from those things. And majority of my work is to concentrate together with the SG. By the way, SG is also a member of Parliament. If you were to check his percentage, for sure I'm better than him, because we are there by name, but we assist with the responsibility of building the party. But our members and the organization is fully there, and it's the only organization that was ever suspended in Parliament. It's the only organization that has ever been taken to the disciplinary committees, only organization that has taken president to court, taken Parliament to court, because we're the most effective, efficient organization which doesn't pretend to be engaged in some artificial politics. We mean serious politics. Pala is in court now as we speak because of the EFF. Yes, sir. You must know it's not me who's keeping you here, it's you.
Look, Moshab, you are saying that, like, now that I'm thinking about it, we are speaking about Pala, and we are saying that Mashaba will not make any significance because of small parties. But if you're talking about Pala, I mean, Vuyo Zungula, they are a small party, but they make significant points with the Pala thing, and they are the ones who are part of making this thing blow up. So don't you think these minorities, parties and what do you call it, independent candidates can actually have influence in Parliament if they are serious?
No, I've never said small parties. I said Mashaba. Mashaba is not a small party. Mashaba as an individual is not a thinker. You can't think and speak at the same time. And at times there, you are required to think on your feet. So that's the word out. Small parties, I kept on saying ATM, PAC. What in terms of small parties in Parliament, PAC, ATM, they're small. I kept on referring to them, that these are the parties we're going to be working with because we're not far apart. And if that is a big issue that small parties are about, we give it to them. But we were not of the issue. So we were on the Pala issue ourselves. And then ATM was very fortunate to write a letter to Parliament before us. So we are not in competition. They are raising the same issue we are raising. But ATM alone can't have the capacity to carry that issue. We carried it on our shoulders, ourselves as the EFF. That's why we are in court now. I just, and was suspended for that. I just signed papers even now, what do you call it, the affidavit of responding to them. We did the first affidavit, they responded, I signed another one now, responding to their response. So that's the role we're playing of being robust and making Parliament to be fashionable. Thank you very much. I think I've answered everything, and thank you everyone for coming. Thank you. Minister of Justice.
Wait, colleagues. Thank you very much, President. Okay, thank you very much, colleagues, for taking time to engaging with our president today. We've got lunch ready for you at the restaurant on the left side. It would be irresponsible of me to not ask the colleagues that on the 29th of May, please vote for the EFF.
Thank you for joining us in this crucial discussion. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video to spread awareness about the upcoming South African general election. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss out on part 4 and the rest of this insightful segment. Your engagement is vital as we navigate through these important matters together. Thank you and take care.